All right, so you're here because, like me, you keep hearing about this Grok 3 thing, and you want to know what all the fuss is about. This new AI from Elon Musk out of XAI.
Yeah, it's the one everyone's been talking about. Grok 3.
It seems like every day there's a new AI coming out, but even Musk himself is calling this one very smart. So,
Yeah, that scary smart thing is what everyone's caught on to. What's different about this one is it's supposed to be all about seeking truth, even if it's, like politically incorrect or something.
oh wow. So no pulling punches.
Nope.
Okay, well, before we get into all of that, can you just, like, for someone who's maybe hearing about it for the first time,
Sure.
what exactly is Grok 3?
So Grok 3 is an AI chatbot. It's it's part of a whole line of models that Musk's company XAI has been putting out.
Okay.
But this one's supposed to be more than just like talking.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be able to do all sorts of reasoning and stuff, even better than some of the other AIs out there.
Really? Better than what we've already got? I mean, those are already pretty amazing.
Yeah, so they say XAI's been releasing like benchmarks and stuff and
Okay.
comparing it to GPT-4 and Google's Gemini,
Oh,
and
wow.
apparently it's doing better in things like science questions, coding, and math.
Wow. Okay, now I'm really interested. So before we get into all the heavy stuff, I
Yeah.
gotta ask, where'd they come up with that name, Grok? It just sounds so weird.
You noticed that, huh? It's actually from a science fiction book, Stranger in a Strange Land, by Robert Heinlein.
Oh, okay.
And in the book, to grok something means to, like, really understand it.
Like deeply get it.
Yeah,
So that name's like a clue about what Musk is trying to do.
exactly. He doesn't want an AI that just spits out information.
Right.
He wants it to actually understand it.
That's pretty ambitious. Makes that whole scary smart thing even more, well, scary.
Yeah. So you want to know if it lives up to the hype, right?
Yeah. What makes this thing tick?
So one of the big things is they built in what they call reasoning models. It's kind of like a built-in fact checker.
Oh, that's interesting.
It verifies information before giving you an answer.
So you're less likely to get those totally wrong answers that AI sometimes gives you. What do they call them? Hallucinations?
Exactly. They're trying to make it much more reliable. And they've also got these different modes, like a thinking mode and a big brain mode.
Big brain mode. Now that's just cool sounding. What's that all about?
Basically, it lets Grok 3 tackle really complicated questions, like especially in STEM fields, science, tech, all that. It's like giving it an extra boost of brain power
Ah,
for the
okay.
really tough stuff.
So how do we know big brain mode isn't just some marketing gimmick?
Well, Andres Karpathy, you know him, right? He used to head up AI at Tesla.
Yeah, yeah.
He got to test out Grok 3,
Okay.
and he was really impressed, especially with that thinking mode. Said it was the best he'd seen for handling complex stuff.
All right, so it's not just hype, but what about us normal folks? Forget all the techie stuff.
Sure.
What are the features that would make me excited about Grok 3?
Okay, so imagine you're doing research online. They've got this thing called Deep Search, which is like a search engine on steroids. It doesn't just give you website links.
Mm-hmm.
It actually analyzes info from the whole internet, even X, what used to be Twitter, to give you a complete answer.
Wow, so like it's doing the research for you?
Exactly. It's like having a superpowered research assistant.
That's pretty awesome. What else is there?
They're also adding voice interaction, so you can actually talk to Grok 3.
Oh,
Makes it
cool.
way more user-friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's got that image analysis feature they had in the older versions. You can show it a picture, ask it questions about what it sees.
That is seriously impressive. I'm starting to see why I must be so excited about this. But I gotta imagine something this powerful takes a lot of computing power to run.
You're not wrong. They built a huge data center down in Memphis,
Okay.
just packed with 200,000 GPUs. They call it Colossus. And they used it to train Grok 3.
200,000. Geez, that's like a whole city of computers. But it can't just be about brute force, right? What about the software side of things?
Oh, they've got some really clever tricks up their sleeve. They're using synthetic datasets, self-correction techniques. Basically, they're training Grok 3 in some pretty innovative ways to make it as smart as possible.
Sounds like they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI. So, with all this talk about Grok 3, how can someone like me, an average Joe, actually get to try it out?
Well, for now, there's a few different ways to access it.
Okay.
If you're already an X Premium Plus subscriber, you can jump right in. It's included for $50 a month.
Not bad if you already done that.
Right. But there's also a Super Grok subscription for people who aren't on Premium Plus 7. That's $30 a month or $300 for the whole year.
Okay, so there are options even if you're not on X.
Exactly. And Super Grok gives you early access to new features, more of those reasoning queries, full access to deep search, and unlimited AI image generation.
So you get the good stuff. What about businesses? Can they use this too?
Yeah, they're working on a corporate API so developers can integrate Grok 3 into their products.
Makes sense.
And they've even hinted that they might open source Grok 2 once Grok 3 is more established.
Interesting. All this talk about Grok 3 makes me think about the bigger picture, the whole AI scene. There's some serious competition going on, especially between Elon Musk and OpenAI. What's the deal there?
Yeah, there's some history there.
Okay.
Musk was actually one of the founders of OpenAI, but he left a while back.
Uh-huh.
He's been pretty critical of them since then, especially about how they're becoming more of a for-profit company.
So that's why he started XAI and Grok 3 to kind of compete with them?
It seems that way. He even tried to buy OpenAI back, offered them almost $100 billion, but they said no.
Whoa. $100 billion? That's a lot of money. Sounds like there's some serious bad blood there.
Definitely some tension. And it shows you how much is at stake with all this AI stuff.
It's mind-blowing. So what's the financial picture like for these companies? Are they doing okay?
Both of them are raising tons of money right now. XAI is trying to raise $10 billion, which could value them at $75 billion.
Wow.
And OpenAI is going for even more. They're trying to raise $40 billion, which would make them worth $300 billion.
Those numbers are insane. So people are really betting big on the future of AI, huh?
It seems that way. AI is advancing so quickly, it's no wonder everyone wants a piece of the action.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from the nitty-gritty of Grok 3 to the drama unfolding in the world of AI. It's clear that we're witnessing a technological revolution and things are changing fast. Where do you think all this is headed? What does it mean for the future of AI and its impact on our lives?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Grok 3 is a major step forward. It's got incredible potential.
Right.
But like with any new technology, there are going to be challenges.
Of course.
We need to be careful, but we also need to be excited. The possibilities are truly endless. It could be a real game changer. But we also need to be realistic.
Yeah, of course. It can't all be sunshine and roses.
Right, like one of the big worries with any AI is bias.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Even with all the fancy algorithms, Grok 3 is still learning from the data we feed it. And if that data has biases built in,
Then Grok 3 is going to have those same biases.
exactly. It doesn't matter how much it's focused on truth.
Right.
If the information it's getting is skewed, its answers are going to be skewed too.
So even with Grok 3's truth-seeking, we could still end up with a biased truth.
It's a possibility. It just shows that no AI is perfect.
Yeah.
And it really highlights how important it is to use good data when you're training these things.
Absolutely. It's not just about building a powerful AI. It's
No.
about building a responsible one.
Exactly. And that brings up another big topic. I know a lot of people are worried about the potential dangers of AI, like the whole AI apocalypse scenario.
Yeah, the robots taking over. Should we be stocking up on canned goods?
I think we're safe from that, at least for now. The robot uprising is still science fiction.
Okay, good to know. But are there any real dangers we should be thinking about?
Well, misinformation is a big one, and the possibility of someone using AI for bad stuff.
Oh, yeah, like creating fake news or something.
Exactly. Those are very real threats, and we need to be prepared to deal with them.
So we need to focus on making sure AI is used for good.
Exactly. It's about harnessing its power for positive things, like helping us make scientific breakthroughs,
Right.
or even just making our lives easier.
But at the same time, making sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Right. We need to be smart about how we develop and use this technology.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It is. It's going to require collaboration between researchers, developers, policymakers, and the public.
We all need to be on the same page.
Right. We need to have honest conversations about what AI can do, both good and bad.
That makes sense. So we've talked about the potential downsides.
Yeah.
But what about the flip side? What are some of the good things Grok 3 could do for the world?
The possibilities are pretty amazing. Imagine it being used to revolutionize scientific research. It could help scientists analyze huge amounts of data
Oh, wow.
and make discoveries that would have taken years before.
Yeah.
Or think about how it could change education. It could provide personalized learning for every student.
That would be incredible.
It could adapt to each student's needs, make sure everyone's getting the most out of their education.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but in a good way. What about closer to home, though? How could Grok 3 change our everyday lives?
Well, think about it integrated into your phone or your smart home. It could be like a super smart assistant
Uh-huh.
that knows your schedule, anticipates your needs, and helps you with all sorts of things.
Wow, so like a personal AI butler.
Exactly. It would learn your preferences,
Right.
and it could even give you insights based on your interests.
That would be amazing. But even with all the potential benefits, we still need to be aware of the challenges. You mentioned job displacement earlier.
Yeah.
Is that something we should be worried about?
Honestly, it's something we need to be prepared for. As AI gets smarter, some jobs are inevitably going to be automated.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
It's important to start thinking now about how we can help people adapt to those changes.
So we don't leave anyone behind.
Exactly. We need to make sure that everyone benefits from these advances, not just a select few.
That's a really important point. Anything else we should be keeping an eye on?
Well, there's always the risk of misuse. As AI becomes more powerful, it's crucial to have safeguards in place to prevent it from being used for harmful things.
Yeah, we don't want it falling into the wrong hands.
Right. We need to be responsible with this technology.
It all comes back to that idea of responsibility, doesn't it?
It really does. The future of AI is in our hands.
Powerful stuff. As we wrap up this part of our deep dive into Grok 3, I'm feeling a mix of excitement and, I don't know, maybe a little apprehension. We're at a turning point,
Yeah,
and the choices we make now are going to have a huge impact on the future.
they will. But that's also what makes it so exciting. We have the opportunity to shape this technology and
Absolutely.
use it to build a better world.
So much to think about. We'll be back in a bit to explore even more about Grok 3 and where all this might be headed. All right, we're back. And I gotta say, my mind is still buzzing from all this Growth 3 stuff, especially that whole thing about seeking truth, even if it's controversial. Like, how is an AI supposed to even know what's true?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really gets you thinking about the role of AI
Yeah.
and how it can change our understanding of, well, everything. Imagine an AI that's constantly questioning,
Uh-huh.
challenging our assumptions, forcing us to see things from different angles,
It'd be like having, I don't know, like a digital Socrates.
right? Always poking and prodding, making us think critically.
But that brings up another question. Who decides what's true for Grok 3? Is it just based on the data it's trained on, or are humans involved in, like, shaping its understanding of truth?
That's a huge question, and it gets to the heart of AI ethics. We need to be super transparent about how these systems are trained,
Okay.
make sure it's all guided by solid ethical principles.
That makes sense. We can't just let AI run wild and decide truth on its own.
Exactly. It's got to be a collaborative effort.
So, enough philosophy for now. Let's talk practical applications. How could Grok 3 actually be used in the real world?
The possibilities are mind-blowing, honestly. Imagine it being used in scientific research,
Okay.
helping scientists analyze huge amounts of data, maybe even making discoveries that would have taken years otherwise.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Or think about education. It could create totally personalized learning experiences for each student, tailored to their needs.
Like a personal tutor for everyone?
Exactly. It could revolutionize the way we learn.
Those are some pretty incredible applications. But what about our everyday lives? How could Grok 3 change things for us regular folks?
Think about having it integrated into your phone or your smart home.
Okay.
It could be like a super intelligent assistant, anticipating your needs, managing your schedule,
Yeah, right.
and even providing you with customized information based on your interests.
So it's not just answering your questions.
No, it's more like it's proactively helping you.
That's wild. But with all this amazing potential, we can't forget the downsides. You mentioned job displacement earlier. Is that a real concern?
I think it is. We have to be honest about the fact that as AI gets more advanced,
Yeah,
some jobs are going to be automated.
that's scary.
It is. But it also presents an opportunity.
How so?
If we plan for it, we can use this shift to create new opportunities, new types of jobs that we can't even imagine yet.
So it's not just about losing jobs.
Right. It's about adapting and evolving.
What else should we be worried about?
Well, missiness is always a concern. The more powerful AI becomes, the more important it is to make sure it's not used for harmful purposes.
Makes sense. We've got a lot of responsibility here.
We do. We're shaping the future, literally. And the choices we make now will have a ripple effect for generations to come.
That's a sobering thought. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Grok 3,
Yeah,
I'm left with a sense of, wow, we're on the verge of something truly extraordinary.
we are. And it's both exciting and a little terrifying.
Definitely both. But I think the takeaway here is that we all need to be part of this conversation.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we create together.
And that's what makes it so important to stay informed, to stay engaged, and to keep asking those tough questions.
I couldn't agree more.
A huge thanks to you for breaking all of this down for us, and to all of you out there for joining us on this wild ride into the world of Grok 3. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep imagining the possibilities. Until next time.